Welcome. Hello. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. In our top story, the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority is owed money, as we reported by several government agencies. And now the authority owes millions of dollars to one of their primary energy suppliers. Outstanding invoices are due for the use of liquid petroleum gas that is used to power both St. Croix and St. Thomas. And the company Vital has suspended the supply flow to the territory momentarily. Stephanie Brown has an update.
This past Saturday, Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen transmitted information to News 2 informing that the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority converted from the use of propane back to oil. In a letter addressed to Governor Mapp, the senator elucidated that the WAPA's propane vendor will no longer provide propane to the authority until $20 million is rendered for services. The very next day, WAPA released statements attempting to nullify the senator's concerns.
The governing board and executive management team of the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority reassured residents of the Virgin Islands on Sunday that the power plants will not run out of fuel and WAPA will continue to produce and provide electricity to its customers.
At a press conference held at the Christiansted Government House on Monday, the governor addressed the concerns of many residents fearing loss of electricity.
That issue is under full control and there's no threat to the Virgin Islands going into darkness.
Jean Griot, the public relations officer of WAPA, informed that the switch between propane to oil was being sensationalized.
We don't see it at the authority as really a big deal. For maintenance purposes and other purposes, we switch frequently between LPG and oil. The cost of oil, the cost of propane already factored into the LEAC rate, which is in place for 6 months at a time. There's no real impact on customers.
In 2016, legislators and Governor Mapp approved measures to set in place $30 million of working capital for fiscal years 2017 and 2018, which $30 million were to be split to fund both the territory's hospitals.
And of that $30 million, there's a anticipation that 50 to 60% of that money will go towards the unpaid obligations that both of the hospitals have to the Water and Power Authority.
For News 2, I'm Stephanie Shalana Brown.
The Virgin Islands Public Services Commission exclaimed that they did not know why WAPA has not provided any information to the commission as to the reason that the authority is unable to pay its fuel supplier because the costs of the propane provided by Vital have been collected through the LEAC since WAPA began using that fuel. Well, in other WAPA news, according to WAPA, some work to replace street lights began at 7 a.m. today. And here's an update. In 2015, the WAPA board had unanimously authorized previous executive director of WAPA, Hugo Hodge, to negotiate with Petra Energy Field Service to purchase and install new LED lights. Reportedly, electricity costs for the territory's sodium street lights amount to $9.1 million. And according to WAPA, the work to replace the streetlights began and will continue until 5 p.m. until that project is complete. Contractors in the project are Fortress Electric on St. Croix and Bryant's Electric on St. Thomas, and the work will continue each weekday until 5 p.m. Motorists who traverse these areas are asked to be mindful of the crew's presence on the roadway while work is ongoing. At the governor's latest press conference that was called to address the Vigilant Guard emergency response exercises in the territory, the governor addressed several concerns, which included the need to act immediately on several bills, which include the appropriation of $10 million as a match to the Medical Assistance Program, also known as MAP, as well as address a proposed bill to amend the VI Horse Racing Industry Assistance Act of 2017. Here's more.
The scale of governance is, how do we respond timely to these critical issues? Because really it's all about timing. Private capital for investment in a community is about timing. People don't put millions of dollars on a shelf and just wait to go through the governmental process. They need answers. Having dollars on the table to make our matches with our federal partners are very important. The ability to have 55% of our uncompensated care costs ceded to the federal government through the expanded Medicaid program is important because we used to have 100% of that cost. But we only provided $5 million for the match, knowing that we needed about $13 million for the year, so that the $10 million additional.
Well, Governor Kenneth Mapp amended his call for a special session on Wednesday, May 10th to include an appropriation for emergency repairs at the Schneider Regional Medical Center. In his letter to Senate President Myron Jackson, the governor wrote that after last week's call for the special session, he was contacted by Schneider Regional Medical Center's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Bernard Wheatley, who indicated that there will be catastrophic consequences if emergency repairs were not made to the hospital's chill water system, the steam lines, and hot water production and distribution systems. So the governor has asked senators to appropriate $600,000 to address these matters. The governor is asking the senators to urgently check that while the sums requested here, he says, do not equal to Schneider Regional Medical Center's request. He said, I assure you that I will address the additional funding soon. He said, I'm requesting these sums to avert any delays in addressing these challenges. These critical issues have a direct impact on the patient care and the hospital certification with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and the Joint Commission. We'll turn it over to Puerto Rico. On Friday, President Donald Trump signed a federal government spending bill that included $295 million in Medicaid funding for Puerto Rico's struggling healthcare system. Puerto Rico's record-setting restructuring may leave bondholders with larger than expected losses, according to Pacific Investment Management Company, the investment firm, which oversees $40 billion of municipal debt and has steered clear of the Caribbean islands' government bonds. They said Tuesday that the recoveries of some Puerto Rico securities may be less than what the current trading prices suggest. The U.S. territory, which resorted to bankruptcy-like proceedings last week, projects it can cover less than a fourth of what's owed to investors in the next 10 years, even after taking sweeping steps to steady its finances. A federal oversight board approved that plan in March. Well, mayhem at the airport. Passengers in open revolt at the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport Monday night. The brawl broke out after Spirit Airlines canceled flights. Elwin Lopez has more on what happened and who the airline says is to blame.
Get off of him! Chaos breaking out at Fort Lauderdale's airport Monday night. Tempers flared after Spirit Airlines canceled about 300 flights in the past week. After long delays, passengers had had enough.
Well, we've been waiting in line over here for almost 3.5 hours. Multiple flights have been canceled today. And all of a sudden, one particular flight got canceled, and a mob ensued up here at the front counter in front of everybody else who had been waiting in line. Well, at that point, the ticket agents couldn't handle what was going on, so they called in for the police.
As the brawl escalated, Broward County deputies stepped in, arresting at least 3 people. Spirit Airlines blames the situation on their pilots, saying they are trying to force the airline's hand in contract negotiations. The pilots' union fighting back, denying all of this.
They delayed us.
They delay it though, and then they cancel it like at the last minute, which is really upsetting because there's people, you know, sitting there with babies and stuff.
Spirit Airlines says it was shocked and saddened by what happened in Fort Lauderdale.
Well, keeping our eye on the economy, let's take a look at it's now easier to qualify for free shipping on Amazon. The company has lowered the minimum for non-Prime members to $25 of eligible items, and that's according to a shipping page on its website. The threshold used to be $49, and then it was lowered to $35 in February, and now it has been lowered again. The latest drop comes after Walmart started offering free 2-day shipping without a membership fee on orders of at least $35. Let's take a look at the numbers there. The Dow down 36, NASDAQ up 17, S&P 500 also down at 2. Coming up on News 2, some say soon it will be a bridge to somewhere. An update on the Turpentine Road project with a ribbon-cutting ceremony that was held today. That's coming up next. Welcome back. Well, many are saying soon it will be a bridge to somewhere. Residents were invited this morning to the groundbreaking of this long-delayed project beginning on St. Thomas. Officials of VI government, Federal Highway Administration, they marked the resumption of work on the Turpentine Run Road project with a groundbreaking ceremony in State Nada. Here's more.
I think that what the community has gone through in its history in this neighborhood, this government is long overdue in solving this problem. Long overdue in putting the infrastructure in place to ensure that it does not happen.
Residents were invited to the groundbreaking of a long-delayed project on St. Thomas this morning. Officials of the VI government and Federal Highway Administration, they marked the resumption of work at the Turpentine Run Road project with a groundbreaking ceremony in Estate Nada.
But this project is going to alleviate the crowding of the intersection and the potential for flooding. That bridge you see there now that's in use was a point of plug. I mean, that was one of the areas where debris coming down the gut would stop at the bridge, stop the water flow. The result would be water flowing into the community. So by removing that low bridge and replacing it with this bridge that many people thought was oversized, trust me, this bridge is what is needed to allow anything that's coming down that gut to flow straight through.
Residents of Estate Nada, surrounding community, and media were present for what many are calling a historic event.
The Turpentine Run Bridge on St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, was constructed in 1996 as part of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers flood control project. The bridge approaches and associates roadway work on Bolongo Bay Road and Turpentine Run Road were delayed due to the acquisition of right-of-ways and were never constructed.
Public Works Commissioner Gustav James recognized the key players in the project. He said Department of Public Works and federal partners have made a $9.5 million investment into the project possible.
As we look forward to this historic accomplishment, the administration wants to thank the people of Nada and surrounding communities for their patience, virtitude, and commitment to the United States Virgin Islands. The removal of all convenience that you may had in the past, such as a gas station, a mom and pop store, or even a little area for liming, has been long overdue with a new vision.
The Department of Public Works, once again, thanks to you very much, and the residents here for dealing with the inconveniences. We're going to do our very best to make the temporary conditions as comfortable as possible. You see, this is the road that we are on right now is a temporary road. The road over to the back, to your back there, is also another part of the temporary arrangements that are being made, and these temporary arrangements are designed in such a way to allow the traffic to continue to flow as we conduct this project, and we hope to disrupt your lives as little as possible.
Now, the project should be complete in the spring of 2018. Eastern Federal Lands Highway Division is the project manager, and Island Roads the contractor. We heard from Governor Kenneth Mapp, Public Works Commissioner Gustav James, and Merwin Potter, who's the St. Thomas Water Island Administrator. Well, Governor Kenneth Mapp, meanwhile, has proclaimed May 6 to 12 as National Territorial Nurses Week in the USVI, and Governor Mapp said that professional nursing remains an indispensable component of the safety and quality of patient care and hospitalized patients. He said, I ask that all residents of these Virgin Islands join me in honoring our registered nurses who care for all of us, and that all residents celebrate registered nurses' accomplishments and efforts to improve our healthcare system and show our appreciation for the territory's registered nurses, not just during this week, but every opportunity throughout the year, Governor Mapp wrote in his proclamation. Also, Senator Nellie Rivera O'Reilly, who's the chair of the Committee on Health, Hospital, and Human Services, thanks nurses of the territory during the week for their commitment. She says the efforts of nurses are often overlooked. They work long hours, do not always get to spend time with their families on holidays, and are always on call. National Nurses Week, May 6 to 12, was established to recognize and celebrate these efforts. This year's theme is Nursing the Balance of Mind, Body, and Spirit. The American Nurses Association has dubbed 2017 as the Year of the Healthy Nurses. In every sense of the word, she says nursing is indeed a balance. Nurses serve in the many capacities of healthcare, schools, hospitals, physicians' offices, the military, research labs, clinics, and even in our own homes. Virgin Islands Department of Education, the Commissioner Sharon Ann McCollum expressed gratitude for the work and commitment of teachers as part of the week-long celebration of our National Teacher Appreciation Week as well, which is May 8 to 12. She said this week we pause to thank teachers for the sacrifices they make and the many hats they wear to ensure that our children are receiving the best education possible. In a statement, she said, "Your ability to inspire students and set them on a path to realize their destiny is the single most generous thing one human can do for another." Throughout the week, the Department of Education will also feature the territory's top teachers in short video clips on its Facebook page, which is facebook.com/usvi.vide. Now, these teachers were previously recognized in October 2016 as finalists for the 2016-17 District Teacher of the Year, which was awarded to Kendra Vicaris in the St. Thomas St. John District and Dinah Brown in the St. Croix District. University of the Virgin Islands, they are getting ready for their 53rd annual commencement ceremonies. It's set for May 11th and 12th on the Albert A. Sheen campus on St. Croix and the St. Thomas campus as well. Over 100 degrees will be awarded. That's 1:30 on Thursday, May 12th on the grounds of the Albert Sheen campus. More than 200 degrees will be awarded at 1:30 p.m. on Friday, May 12th at the Sports and Fitness Center on the St. Thomas campus. Ayanla Van Zandt, who is a prolific and commanding author, inspirational speaker, television personality, and healer, will be UVI's 2017 commencement keynote speaker and will receive an honorary doctorate. Outstanding educator Ruth Elma Thomas and musical icon Stanley Jacobs will also receive honorary doctorates. Just a quick note to parents, the Shalamali High School will be holding a mandatory pre-orientation meeting for all incoming 9th graders for school year 2017 to 18. That's on Tuesday, May 16th at 5:30 p.m. in the school's auditorium. They say the CAHS administration is reminding students and parents of the following. If students are uncertain about being promoted to the 9th grade, they should still attend pre-orientation. All students must wear their current school uniform and be accompanied by a parent or guardian. Students and parents are required to sit together, and they say be prepared to complete the required forms and ID fees and all the necessary fees. Havana Eudorican High School's Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, or the JROTC program, Cadet Brianna Ellie, a 9th grader, received an honorable mention in the Army JROTC's annual JROTC essay contest. This makes Ellie the top winner of the contest in the Caribbean region, where she placed in the top 7 for the 6th Brigade, which is comprised of JROTC programs in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Ellie's instructor, First Sergeant Raymond Frett, had the honor of presenting Cadet Ellie with her Certificate of Achievement and Brigade coin in the presence of her mother. This year's essay contest theme was service to others, and Cadet Ellie's 2.5-page essay expressed her belief that service to others has a positive and rewarding impact on oneself, the immediate community, and the world. The 6th Brigade took home first place at Cadet Command, with the national winner announced as Tiffany Bryant from Lanier High School in Jackson, Mississippi. Virgin Islands Department of Education is reminding parents, and this is the St. Thomas St. John District, reminding parents of the early dismissal of all public schools on Thursday, May 11th. Dismissals, they say, will take place 3 hours before normal release times and are necessary to accommodate the monthly job-embedded professional development for teachers. Lunch will be served before students are released, and buses will be dispatched early to schools to transport students to their normal drop-off locations, and school will resume normal times on Friday. Friday, the following day, May 12th. Now, those are the times right there for Thursday, May 11th, Cancrine at 12, CAHS 12:10, BCB 11:25, Eudora Ken at 11:50, Sproul 12, EWAA 12:10, Abraham 11:40, Muller School 11:40, Dover Elementary 11:45, Janie Twitt 11:35, Joseph Sibley 11:30, Lockhart Elementary 11:45, EBO 11:45, Gomez School 11:40, and Yvonne Bosky at 11:40. Just a quick note from the VIPD, they are advising the general public that the Firearms Bureau will be temporarily closed for business effective Monday, May 15 until Friday, May 26. They say regular service will resume on Tuesday, May 30th. Also, the Records Bureau will be closed for business effective Wednesday, May 10th during the hours of 9 to 11 on St. Thomas and on Thursday, May 11th on St. Croix. The Records Bureau will resume its regular service to the general public the following day. The Virgin Islands Police Department apologizes in advance for any inconveniences this may cause. You can also call them for more information on those dates. Well, be sure to stick around. Your News to AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
Quite an active day across Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Your current satellite pointing out. So this is what we're looking at here. We do have a frontal boundary remaining nearby. The winds actually pushing up toward the north, interacting with this disturbance, unleashing unsettled conditions. We've been talking about rain, active weather conditions throughout much of the area today. Similar trend expected to continue tomorrow. So just to give you more of a closer look, notice the rain continuing around the Virgin Islands. It is expected to continue through the nighttime hours where we cannot let the chance of a rumble of thunder. Also, that expands back into Puerto Rico as well, and it's all due to the same disturbance. Now, for tonight, we can expect a few showers to continue with us as we wrap up the day. Temperatures will be back down into the low to mid 70s. For tomorrow, we'll be at 82 degrees, a shower or two to be expected here in St. John. As we move right along here, what's going on as we head into the day tomorrow in St. Thomas, we'll keep temperatures in the low 80s, a shower or two once again to be expected here with us for tomorrow, and similar weather conditions around St. Croix, a shower or two in the forecast, and temperatures will be in the 80s here as well. All right, your marine outlook in the Atlantic side, waves 3 to 5 feet with that southeasterly winds anywhere between 15 to 20 knots. As we check out marine conditions around the Caribbean side, we're talking about waves anywhere between 3 to 5 feet and also winds very similar to the Atlantic side, coming out of the southeast, 15 to 20 knots. As we check out your extended outlook, we will see a shower or two in some spots as we continue throughout the course of this week, Friday and Saturday, and temperatures all across the board remaining into the 80s. We'll keep temperatures in the mid 80s also as we head into Sunday, but as we head into the weekend, looking a lot better in the Virgin Islands, which does bring good news, right? Back to you, Santi.
Thank you. Let's take a look at our news to weather picture there by Michael Alfred Jr. of Ricardo Richards Elementary School. Nice and basic, some sunshine, clouds, and smooth sailing, beautiful conditions there, Michael. Thank you for that. Send us your news to weather picture to the address on the screen. Be sure to include the information we need, your school, your name, age, description of your work, and then tune in to see it right here on News 2. That is all for now. Thank you for joining us. For all the latest, I'm Sandra Mansing. Have a wonderful evening.